Welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Thank you for connecting wherever you are connecting us from. I welcome you to this program. Thank you so much for joining. Please like and share the program as you join. Like and share our platform. Like and share to family and friends. Like and share to anyone that is close to you. Invite people, at least one person. Make sure you invite at least one person to this program so that we can hit the game running.
Not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist. You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isoto. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy. Because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so. because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. I had in Sosine He said,
Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you for joining the program wherever you are joining from. Thank you for connecting. Please, as you join the program, like and share the program on your platform. Like and share to family and friends. Like and share to anyone you can be able to reach. When you look at the program, if you have joined now, you will realize that today they don't want us to reach out to people, because you know that the social media attack on this very struggle is very, very strong. They don't want us to pass this message. That is why when we come online, you see just one person or two people watching. It is not because only one or two people are connected, but they are trying to hinder people from hearing the gospel of truth. And what they do is that when we come online, they kick people out from the program. You can see a platform, they have more than 10,000 followers, and you come online, you see one person, two people watching. That is arrant nonsense and madness. And this madness is created by the YouTube themselves to discourage us from doing what we have to do. Every one of us should be up and doing. The only way you can help us to overcome this challenge is by helping us to share the program. Whenever you see the program, we're online, you help us to share. By your sharing and helping us, you are going to encourage us and make us not to be discouraged. Because it is very, very discouraging that when you come online to preach the gospel with all your effort and all that you have prepared, you discover that nobody is there watching. Not because the Biafrans are not ready to listen, not because Biafrans are not ready to watch, but they are blocking everybody to make sure that people do not come into our program. So for us to break through this very blockade, it is by you helping us to share. Like and share on your own platform. Like and share to family and friends. Like and share. We will never give up. No matter how they try, I've always made up my mind and said that whenever I come online, even if they block everybody, if I'm left alone, I will still drop that message. Chukwu member himself will not have to preach on that message and it will go across. And that is what I'm going to do today. Yesterday, they could not allow us to finish our program. They stopped us along the way, and we could not conclude our program yesterday. Today, again, we've come online to broadcast, and you see what they are doing. They are holding down the viewers. They are trying as much as possible to cut us down and make sure that people do not hear our voice. But no matter how they try, they cannot stop the gospel of Chukwu Kabiama. We didn't bring ourselves, we didn't send ourselves. What we are doing is what we are supposed to do for humanity to be free. The freedom of Biafran people is not just their own freedom, it's the freedom of everybody in that Zodiac Republic, about 200 million people. They have become endangered species in their own country. And what we are doing here is to free them. It is not a crime we are committing. We are not committing any crime. We are not disobeying any law. Neither are we breaking any rule, not even the social media rule. But yet, they continue to hold us down so that the message will not go. But no matter how they try, we will send this message across. We will continue to encourage Biafrans. As you are there, few of you that will be able to come in, as you are there encouraging me, I'm also encouraging you to stand firm and stand strong. Do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. No matter the challenges you see, no matter the difficulty, we are going home. And it is becoming much more clearer to them than before. They are getting the message water. That is why you see them fighting across right, left, and center. Today program, if you have any contribution to make, if you want to join me on the platform, feel free to click the link. That link you see there that I pinned there is for you to click and come in and make your contribution. Whatever you have to say, all you have to do is that when you come online, you keep your words civil. Let your statements be civil. Don't use vulgar words. You must not agree with everything I say. You can argue, you can bring your own point of view, but do it civil. We learn from each other. At the end of the day, we have a solution to all the problems. Nobody knows it all. Nobody knows it all. When we put our heads together, bring ideas and put together, you begin to see that we begin to make difference and make success. So before we dive into the program today, I welcome everyone that have been able to connect. I welcome my beloved sister, Linda TV Show. You are always there supporting and helping. Emenike, I welcome you, Emenike. Thank you for joining. Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining. Emmanuel, Christian, thank you so much for joining. And every other person that is on the comment section, whether you are commenting or you're not commenting, your presence is highly felt and you are respected and welcome in this program. Chukwudi, thank you so much for joining. Chukwudi, I appreciate you. I welcome you to the program also. Every other person that is out there, please, I urge you to like the program and share the program to at least one WhatsApp group. Share this program to at least one WhatsApp group. Share at least one family member, one of your friends. Drag one person into this very program. That is how we can be able to overcome all these challenges you are seeing. And as long as we continue to remain consistent in what we are doing, they will never break us. Instead, we will break them. Today, we are now talking about the only way, the discovering of the only way to freedom. It is no longer a hearsay. It is no longer a propaganda, no longer noise making. For those who have been calling us noisemakers for a very long time, for those who said we don't know what we are doing, we are playing, we are joking, we are not serious, for those who believe there is a shortcut to freedom, today it has become very, very clear that there is only one way to secure freedom in that contraption called Nigeria. That word that our supreme leader, Mazen Nandekan, have been saying, that the only way to freedom is a breakup. He preached about it, they called him ethnic bigot. He preached about it, they called him a hater. He preached about it, they called him a terrorist. He preached about it and they called him different kinds of names because he saw the solution to the problem and he presented that solution and began to pursue it. He didn't just see the solution and he sat back. He didn't just sit back and continue to complain and lament. Our Supreme Leader saw that problem after he has participated in the growth of the Zolika Republic and it wasn't making any headway. Some of us didn't know. Don't forget that the supreme leader of IPOB at a particular point in time was fighting for one Nigeria. He was speaking up and standing up for one Nigeria. The supreme leader of IPOB that you know today, Mazen Nandekan, at a particular point in time, the video is still online. Go to Facebook and search, you see the video where Mazen Nandekan was protesting in London on behalf of the Biafra, on behalf of the Nigeria, the Zolika Republic of Nigeria. So some of you would think that Mazen Nandekan just wake up from the blues and begin to demand for self-determination. You think he just woke up from the blues and he began to support Biafra. That wasn't the case. He was part of the Zoological Republic trying to make it work. He was calling for one Nigeria, even protesting in the streets of London for one Nigeria. Until when it became clear, very, very clear, that one Nigeria is a scam. It's not going to work. Mazen Nandekan saw it clearly by revelation. He saw it clearly by words. He saw it clearly in action. And Chukwu Okike Abiyama told him, if you want your people to be free, take them out from the Zoological Republic called Nigeria. Mazen Nandekan answered that call and began to agitate for the self-determination of the Biafran people. From the very moment Mazen Nandekan started that journey, since 2011 up to today, he has never stepped back. He has continued to ask for that self-determination, which is the only solution, there's no other. If you want to deceive yourself that there is no other solution except that self-determination, that is the only way out of this very calamity you are seeing every indigenous tribe into today. The problem we found ourselves into today, the only way for us to be free, the only way for us to be free is for us to get out of this zone. So don't think that Mazen Nandi can just wake up and begin to talk about self-determination. In the same vein, the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Indonesia, Mazi Simon Ekpa, worked to make sure that the One Nigeria story becomes true. Mazi Simon Ekpa he works so tirelessly to support the One Nigerian government to see that it works. Mazi Simon Ekpa did not just wake up one day and begin to talk about Biafra. Mazi Simon Ekpa have worked for Nigeria. He has fought for Nigeria. He has won medals. He won medals for Nigeria. So it is not just, he didn't just wake up and begin to talk about Biafra. These are facts that every one of us should know. These are facts that every one of us should know. So many people whom you see today that are asking for self-determination, they have worked tirelessly to see that this zoological republic called Nigeria worked. Mazi Nanikan worked. Our Prime Minister today, Mazi Simon Ekpa, works tirelessly, represented Nigeria before the whole world. This zoological, he represented them and he won medal for them. But when it became clear to him that nothing is going to work, when it became clear to him that it is a waste of time to channel your energy in something that you know that cannot work, when it became clear to him that it's completely waste of time for anybody to commit his or her life in what you call the One Nigeria, when it became clear to him, Mazi Simon Ekpa took a different direction and he began to ask for the right thing. Every one of you have seen the videos. Some of the videos that was made about Mazi Simon Ekpa as a blackmail when he was working for this same called One Nigeria. And one thing with the people who we have today as leaders, when Mazi Nandekan was working for One Nigeria, he was working sincerely for the benefit of the citizens. It wasn't for selfish interest. It wasn't for personal interest. When Mazi Nandekan protested in the street of London, it was for the interest of everybody, every single person. It was for the interest of ordinary masses. As at then, Mazi Nandekan had a wonderful life in London. He was living very, very fine. He has his career. He was a citizen then. And yet, Mazi Nandekan said for the so-called One Nigeria. He was doing it selflessly, not for selfish interest, not for anything. He represented them. He won medal for them. Even in Finland, he represented them in Finland. He spoke on their behalf in Finland. He tried to make sure that these criminal politicians get sense when he was thinking that something can be done. But when it became dawn on him that it is a waste of time, there is no need for you to be taking water and be pouring in a basket. Supporting One Nigeria or talking of a better Nigeria today, tomorrow, next year, in 1,000 years is just like pouring water on a basket. A basket. You know what a basket is? You take an empty basket that have holes. You take water. You are fetching water into a basket. You will do it until you are dead, and nothing is going to change. When our Prime Minister realized that there's no headway, then the call also was made to him. Chukwu Okikabema gave him a clear revelations of how they redeem Biafra. This is the difference between the Biafran people and everyone that called himself a human rights activist. That title is very, when I see people address themselves as human rights activists, go and check every one of them. Every one of them that call themselves human rights activists, even abroad, at the end of the day, you see undertone in that their activism. More especially in the so-called contraption called Nigeria, every single person that attach himself to activism, they call themselves human rights activists. In Nigeria, these are people that has undertone in their intention. The difference between us and them is that we saw the problem. We look for the solution. We have found the solution, and we are following up and pursuing the full solution, undeterred, undistracted. That is the difference between us and those human rights activists. Check everyone that call themselves activists in Nigeria. They always have undertone in their attitude, in their pursuit for the freedom. Look at those who call themselves human rights lawyers. The human rights lawyers in Nigeria today are the ones supporting fraud. They are the ones promoting fraud. They are the one promoting stealing. They are the one promoting the worst government in that contraction called Nigeria. These were the people who at one point in time called themselves human rights lawyers. That is why you see all these Western terms they use. Every term that was brought by Westerners, they always use a time. I'm praying for a time when we begin to address ourselves and use our own language, our own tongue to address our issues, even in our schools and in our educations. I am looking forward to that time, a time when we will be using our own language and our own tongue in everything we are doing. That is the only time we begin to get it right. Because all this, every grammar they speak, human rights, when they talk about human rights, they say it and they interpret it, it becomes so beautiful. When you hear it in your ear, you would like to embrace it. But there is an undertone in that human right. The human right you hear is a manipulating tool to manipulate the people and take away the rights from people who the right belong to and give it to people who doesn't deserve the right. That is what is happening on the planet Earth today. On the planet Earth today, what you see is taking the right of the people who deserve that right and give it to people who do not deserve that right, who doesn't have anything to do with it. That is what you see in the planet Earth. Check every people that the human rights are supporting today. Everywhere where you see that the human rights are vocal, it is always denying the majority their own right to give to the minority. That is what we see on the planet Earth. Any place they attach that word, right, human right, go and check the undertone. They always take away the right from people who that right is supposed to belong to and give it to other people, including child rights, including the right of children. The right that belongs to parents to train their children, the right for the parents to train their children and make them what they're supposed to be as a human, to think and reason like human being. They took away that right from parents. And they tell you child rights, that children have their rights. Now, they took away the right from children, from parents, to train their children and make their children behave in a manner. The Bible says, train your children in the way of Chukwukabara. When they grow, they will not depart from that way. Expressly, train your children the way you want them to be so that when they grow up, they will not depart from that. But you see what is happening in the planet Earth today. The governments of the world have come together to take away the rights of parenthood. Parents, their rights have been taken away. That you don't have rights over your children to position them and make them focus on the direction they have to go. But when you hear them talk about human rights, child rights, this right, you think it's for good. It is an evil. Those languages are evil. They have evil intention attached to it. They have evil attached to it. None of them is with good intention. Until a time will come when we begin to use our own language, to speak in our own language, introduce this in our own language, so that it will maintain the same meaning that we have. Only then and then we begin to get it right. Look at democracy. Democracy that they stole from Biafran land. They stole that act, the government of the people, by the people and for the people. They took that very thing from Biafran land. They took it from Biafran land, and they went and gave it name, democracy. Now they exported it back to Africa and to Biafran land, and they now put a different thing in it. When you hear them talk about it, you think that they mean well. The democracy you hear today in Africa is what? Enslavement of the people. The government of the colonial master, for the colonial master, and by their stooge. That is what you see. That is why you see the people will revolt today and say, we do not want this person. The people will vote and say, this is whom we want. But the colonial master will manipulate the vote and now put the person that they themselves desire. At the same time, they will be telling you that this is democracy. You will see a clear manipulation that the people do not want this government. The people do not want it, even very glaring to your own eyes. No matter how blind or deaf and dumb you are, when you see interview people and you see that this government, they don't want it, they don't want to associate themselves with it. And yet, somebody will be telling you that this is a government of the people, by the people, and for, and they will force you to believe that falsehood. That is the most dangerous one. They will force you to believe a false message, something that is very, you see, sometimes I begin to wonder. Sometimes people begin to confuse. You are seeing something, this thing is white. You know if this thing I'm wearing here has white, it is white. And somebody will be telling you that it is not white, it is black. It is black. And when the person continues to pressure you and pressure, at a point in time, you begin to believe that what you are wearing is black, when you know very well that this is a sparkling white you are wearing. This is how devilish the earth has become. The government of the world has become, forcing people to embrace falsehood. A lot of things are going very, very bad. That Africans, more especially, must retrace their step. That is why Biafra becomes a beacon that must stand. This is why they are fighting Biafra. Because a time will come when Biafra will take up the mantle and we will not allow all this evil to be happening. You are seen in a planet Earth now where they will tell you that human being will just come and tell you that you don't address him as he or she. You address one person as them. And they see it as right. They tell you that a human being is, you have the right to decide that you are an animal. Tell people you're an animal and let them call you an animal. That is your right. They call it right. A person, somebody who you see that from the speech of the person, you know that this person is mentally sick. This person is mental. When we were born in this planet Earth, when we came, when you say certain things that people embrace today, when you say it in those days, you'll be taken to a psychiatric hospital and you'll be evaluated properly. In fact, your parents will sit you down, look into your head properly if you are sick or if that something is wrong. And before you know, the person will come back to his senses. But today, you will see somebody going mad, and the world will tell you that it is his right to be mad. They will just allow him. But when they see somebody who is supposed to be called back, somebody who is supposed to be, oh God, a lot is really happening. I am praying for a time when Africans will dump this. Maybe the problem is this English language, because every single language that is translated in English and brought to us is false. They don't mean what they tell us. The meaning they give us is not what it is. The meaning they give to us is not what they are doing. It's not the meaning of the word. It has a different meaning. Maybe to the outside it might have the same meaning, but when it comes to Africa, it has a different meaning. It is so sad that even in our own side, even in Biafran land, people are not still waking up. Up to this minute, as you're watching this video, there are still some schools in Biafran land where they will tell you that you must not speak vernacular. In Biafran land, they are still punishing students today. School children, they punish school children for speaking their language. They will come to a class, they say, you must not speak your language. It is compulsory, you must speak English. And they punish, they go ahead. Not in an English class. So if it were to be an English class, it's a different thing. If you want to learn English in an English class, it's a different thing when you say no speaking of vernacular. But in a whole school, in other subjects, somebody will stand, you say, you come in a class, they say, once you enter the class, that you must not speak your language. And up to today, some people are being punished with that. Students are being punished with that in schools. Abomination. Abomination. You are forcing your own people to throw away their own language to the dustbin and embrace the language of the foreigner. Look at China. China, they teach their children in Chinese. Every single thing they teach them is in Chinese. So many Asian countries, in their country, they put their own traditional language first. It doesn't mean that they don't learn English. They learn English. They know it. But yet, their own language is what they use to teach their own children. They teach them. Even in Europe, you go and take a German person to go and begin to teach his child with the English. Are you crazy? They teach them in German. You go to their side, you learn that their German language for you to be able to communicate. The same thing with Russia. Russia, they speak in their own language and they teach their people in their language. In their schools, go to all their schools. You saw last time when we saw a Biafran girl who studied in China. A Biafran girl who became the best student in China. For him to be the best student, it wasn't with English. In that school, they speak Chinese and he has to learn Chinese. He has to learn Chinese and he defeated them in their own territory. But you, in your own country, they make it mandatory that when you come to school, in the school compound, you must not speak you must not speak your dialect, it's more English. They go to the extent of punishing the student and sending them away from school because they spoke vernacular. Abomination from the pit of hell. It is time for us to wake up. It is time for us to wake up. Today, it has become very, very clear that the only solution that will set the Zoological Republic out, set them free from the hand of the colonial master, the British, is a breakup. As long as you continue to hold on to that name they gave you, Niger area, as long as you continue to hold on to that name, you will never be free from their captivity. You will never be free. That is why you see Biafran people are standing very, very strong and formidable. And we can never, ever look back. We can never look back. The only solution remains a break-up. Once you break up this very British entity and throw away that evil name, every other nation will spring up and they will recover. Arewa will recover. Oduduwa will recover. The Middle Belt will recover. The Biafran people, of course, will recover. They know this very, very well. They know it. But they come and they begin to preach to you democracy. They begin to preach to you democracy. They tell you it is government of people, by the people, and for the people. Where did you see the government of the people, by the people, and for the people in Africa? Where? Name one place. Can you name one place where you see the government of the people, by the people, and for the people in Africa? Let alone in Nigeria. Where did you see it? Since you were born, have you ever seen the government of the people, for the people, and by the people in that so-called Nigeria? Have you seen that? If you have seen it, please, in this very program today, I want us to be very interactive. In this program, click the link. If you want to join me, click the link. Just click the link and come in. Click the link. I will bring you in. You make your own opinion. If you have a contrary opinion, or if you have seen something different from what I'm saying, click the link, come in. Make your contribution and give your support. We are in a time when we have to be resetting our mind. We have to start resetting our mind because the brain of some people have been damaged so badly that for them to be able to recover, we have to go extra mile to dig in certain things, to tell you how bad it is, to show you how bad it is, even as at now, with everything that is happening to the obedient people, with all the fact that the obedient people have seen that nothing is going to work, with every fact that have been laid and lined up for them to know that Nigeria is not for them. With all those information and facts lined up, yet these so-called obedience, some of them are still hoping for an invisible Nigeria. Some of them are still hoping for an invisible president that will not happen. I see no reason why you cannot learn from the past. Those of you who are still hanging your faith that somehow the judiciary will overturn what they have made and bring in your own person. Are you not sick? You must be sick. If you are one of those still hanging and say, oh, let us wait for appeal court. Let us wait. We cannot give up yet. We cannot give up. There is still hope. A hopeless hope. A hopeless hope. They have succeeded in calming you down. In fact, the energy you use to, those of you who went and involve yourself in that very election, the energy you use to involve that energy have already died down. They have already killed that energy. You can't even protest. You can't even debate. As you stand now, you can't even. I saw so many of them crying online. I see so many of them crying and complaining. But do you know how devilish they are? Some of them are so, I don't know whether if it is out of shame, but time has come that you have to throw away your shame. Throw away your shame. and your pride. Keep it aside. The fact remains that you have tried and you failed. That is a fact. Accept it. Accept it. But some of them, instead of them accepting that fact that they have tried and failed, they are still outside blaming. Some of them say, we are going to support the struggle, but the name will not be Biafra. We are going to support the Biafra, but if we want to support it, the name will be changed. We don't want to go after this Biafra. These mad people everywhere. You want to go join the struggle, you don't want the name. And you forgot that some people have built a foundation on that name. Some people have worked very hard. We are always walking into Biafra, and you come from nowhere. Instead of you to now lie low, you have tried your own side. We left you. You tried and you failed. Now, instead of you to turn 360 degrees and pursue the right way, you are still coming with, oh, you will not carry Biafra. If it is this name Biafra, I will not join. We must take away this name. We must not do it the way Mazin Nandekano did. We must not do it the way Mazin Samaneko. But it is Mazin Nandekano and Samaneko that made you to even have the guts to begin to talk about a new direction today. Instead of you to accept your failure, swallow your shame and pride, and come under the canopy of those who knows what they are saying. At least they have been proven right. Come under, because they know better than you. If you had known better, what you thought would happen would have happened. But these people have seen it for a very long time too, that it's not going to work. And you are seeing everything they say plain and yet here you are. You are just outside there saying, oh, your problem is just that name Biafra. Some of them, you see them shamelessly. They say their problem is this name Biafra. This Biafra make the thing looks as if it's an Igbo agenda. He makes them Igbo-nized. He makes them. It is as if it's the early Igbos fighting. This is just excuses from the pit of hell. Are you going to deny the fact that the majority of people who are asking for this referendum, and fighting for it are Igbo Biafrans? Will you deny that fact? Does it change the fact that 80% of people today who are online 24/7 fighting and making sure that the people in that Zolika are free are Igbo Biafrans? Can you deny that fact? Why won't you swallow your pride? Focus on the freedom. Our Supreme Amazon Nanikan have said it time and time again that our intention is not to dominate anybody. Mazen Nanikan explained and broke it down and said, in Biafra, there are different nations. Biafra remains the name that unifies us. A country that have existed, we want to restore it. When it's being restored, you take back your nation. If you made it clear that even if you people are three, if you are three in number and you choose your own nation with a name, if you like, answer frog. If you like, answer coconut. If you answer anything you want to answer as your own nation, you are free to answer it. But one thing that unites us is the central name Biafra. There are nations in that Biafra. In your own nation, you can answer any name. Manage your resources the way to burn money. Our intention is not to control anybody, but to free people, let people be free. Biafrans have never, ever taken over any tribe. From history, go and check. Biafrans have never, ever conquered any tribe. Igbos, Igbo Biafrans, they have never conquered any other tribe. And I tell you, take it to the bank, go and make verification. The Igbo Biafrans has not conquered any tribe. In that old southeastern region, it is not because they don't have the manpower. It is not because they don't have the population. It is not because they don't have the wealth. It is not because they don't have the knowledge. They have everything that it takes to conquer every person around them in that southeastern region. But they haven't done so. They haven't tried. They haven't dared. And it is not in the agenda. So why are you killing yourself for something that doesn't exist? Why are you wasting your energy and strength on something that is not existing? Why? Why? Why have you allowed yourself to be used and abused by the colonial masters? Your brain that has been so damaged that you don't want to recover, even when there are ways for you to recover. They have told you, you are not part of this. You have confessed by yourself that Nigeria is not meant for anybody to succeed. You have confessed by yourself that there is no other way to do this than to break up. You have confessed by yourself that the supreme leader of IPOB has always been right. And you come and say, you don't like the way he's doing it. You that know how to do it, you have done it in your own way. political way, and you failed woefully. You said Mazen Nandekano, you don't like the way he's doing it. You have tried your own politically, and you failed woefully. You failed shamefully. And instead of you to swallow your pride, come back and listen to the voice of reason, you are still there complaining. Still there complaining. If you have succeeded to kill Mazen Nandekano when you were trying, will you be talking about what you're talking today? If you have succeeded in taking Mazen Samuel before your election, will you still have a face to lay a foundation? Will you still? Do you think that if Mazen Samuel have stopped and joined politics, do you think he will have the courage or the mouth to open mouth and talk today? And you think that the world will listen to you? Nobody will listen to you, because they will say that because your brother have failed, that is why now you are now fighting. It is because you failed. That's why you're fighting. But you are very lucky that there was somebody behind who has been holding that banner. You are so lucky that you have a brother who has adamantly said, I will not be part of this. Consistently remained on his stand. I won't be part of it. And today, he is still standing strong, marching with speed to get out of the zoo. All you have to do is to fall behind him, support him, and work out. Not stopping him and bringing some kind of useless ideas that doesn't hold water. An idea that you have tried and you failed. You that cannot see beyond your nose. You want to come and tell people what to do. When you see these people, these idiots who are, when you see them, some of these obedient and people who were saying we are fighting for obedient, and today, except you remove them of Biafra, you see them, when you see them talk, you see that it is about them. It is about their own personal pride. Every single one of them today that is saying, oh, we will not do it the way of Mazen Nandekano, we will not do it the way of Mazen Simon Ekpa, we use the name Biafra. It is for their own personal and self-aggrandizement. That is why they are using those useless languages. It is about them. And I tell these idiots, can you first of all go and win your own village? In your own village, can you go and convince them? Convince them and let them all support you to break out of Nigeria, first of all. Go and win your people in your village, first of all. Go and win the people in your own locality, in your own village. Can you be able to win them over to yourself? Start from there before you begin to compete with Mazen Nandekano, Mazen Simon Ekpa. Mazen Nandekano have won the whole of Biafran land. Every single Biafran, including those ones that are pretending, the politicians, they are standing behind him. The same thing today, our Prime Minister Mazen Simon Ekpa, he has been succeeded in winning the heart of Biafrans. The Biafrans are solidly behind him. Do you think it's easy to do? If you think it's easy, go and win your own village first. Can you go and win souls in your own village? Let's see your village standing for you. Then you come and give us suggestion. So when you look at them talk, you see that it is still about their own personal interest. Some of them, when they come, they want to showcase themselves. When they see that there's no space for you to elevate yourself to that height, you must fall in line. When they come and they see that there's no space for any personal exaltation, it is about the people and for the people. They get angry. They get angry. When they push and push and push, they say that people are not seeing them. They begin to push propaganda and they go away. This is what we have been seeing again and again and again and again and again. It continues to happen. The heart of man is evil, more especially the Africans. The Nigerians, to be precise, even Biafrans. The heart of man is evil. But I tell you, and when you find out for where Boba, and when you find out for where one man, there's nothing I will see and he will cry blood. No. Nothing I will see. No, it's only water that will come out from it. We have seen it all. We have seen it all. And I'm telling you that getting out of the zoo is the only solution. You know it. I know it. And if you think that you are the one that's going to revise the hand of the clock for us, you better think again, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The foundation have been laid. And the foundation led by Mazen Nandekano is a solid one. A solid one. Everybody that have fought against that foundation, go and ask, where are they today? Everyone that have risen up against that foundation, where are they today? And if you are one of those who will rise tomorrow to go against that very foundation, beware. Beware. Just beware. Just be very, very well. Wherever you are today, and you're a well-meaning person in that Zolika Republic, the battle we are up against today is not just for the Biafran people. It's not just for the Biafran people. It's for every indigenous person in that contraption. You see the revolution that's going on in Africa? In Nigeria, Biafrans are leading that revolution against the colonial master. For us to break out from the cage of the colonial master, Nigeria must go down. If you really want to be free, it doesn't matter your tribe. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter whom you're supporting and who you're not supporting. The most important fact that you must embrace, the most important fact you must embrace and you cannot deny is that the zoo must go down. Only then and then can you experience freedom. Only then and then will you experience security. Only then and then will you experience good economy. Without that, you will remain an endangered species in your own nation. This is an undeniable fact. Continue to deny it. Continue to pretend. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you say. The truth remains the truth. The truth, but you cannot change that truth. You can't, no matter how you try. That truth will continue to stare you at your face. It will continue to stare at you. The truth will continue to stare at you, no matter how you pretend. I thank Chukwu Okeke for the Biafran people, for my brothers and sisters who are formidable, making the whole sacrifice to free every indigenous person. We have put our life on the line. We put our career on the line. We put our own economy on the line. Put our families on the line to rescue everybody. But yet, we are not appreciated. Well, we are not doing it to be appreciated. We are doing it because it's a mandate from Chukwu Okeke. That is why we are born. We are doing it because that is the reason why we are born. It is a mandate from Chukwu Okeke, a mandate that we must protect, a mandate that we must hold on to. It is a mandate that belongs to Chukwu Okeke, and we must keep that mandate. That is why we are doing what we are doing. And it doesn't matter whether you support, whether you don't support, whether you key in, whether you don't key in, Biafra is going to be free from the Zolika Republic. It is written. There's nothing you can do about it. When you see us asking you today to do your own part, it is for you to receive your own blessing. If you are supporting Biafra today, it is for your own benefit. For your own benefit. For your own benefit.